Jungkook grabbed the girl by her waist to stabilize her so she doesn't fall. He can tell that she was also zoned out like him because as he grabbed her by waist, she jumped from his hold and dropped her papers all over the floor. I'm so sorry. She started to apologize even without lifting her head to look at him. I zoned out and I didn't look where I was going. She keeps talking while she crouched down to pick up her papers. He was about to flick her off and go to get himself a coffee but fought against it and crouched down too so he could help her. She must sense him crouching because her head shot up and both of their eyes met. And let me tell you, all air left his lungs. She has beautiful light bluish gray eyes. He probably looked like a deer caught in headlights when she sends him a small smile, giving him head a little shake so he could focus on a task in front of him. Jungkook gave a mysterious girl a small smile of his own, which turns into a smirk as he sees that she is checking him out. When his eyes met, he could see her start blushing. So she put her head down, trying to hide the rose color on her cheeks, and continued to pick her papers. Jungkook, being the gentleman he is, he helped her. After gathering all papers from the floor, he gave them back to her as he stood up, followed by the girl. Jungkook couldn't help himself but look at papers when he had them in his hands. And guess what? It ends up that this little thing in front of him is carrying resume in her hand. That could mean only one thing: she is searching for a job. And that's the moment when his conversation with Sarah made an appearance in his head, and suddenly he got an idea. Thank you, sir, she said timidly as she looked up at him. She looked short next to him, reaching only his shoulders. Jungkook couldn't see her body because she has a suit jacket over her, which is hiding her body from his praying eyes. All in all, she is quite a looker. Heart-shaped face, pink plump lips, breathtaking eyes, and what surprises him, she is not caked with makeup. You're welcome, miss. He couldn't help himself but wanted to catch her name. Still blushing, she shyly extended her hand into a handshake, and Jungkook gladly wrapped his around hers. Choi Wayan, nice to meet you. You quietly said, Jungkook John, and the pleasure is all mine, he said while he pulled your hand to his lips and lightly kissed your knuckles. You blushed furiously, ducking adorable. Fuck, that's the first thought that came into your head when you crashed into someone. Perfect. First day, firstly, you don't get a job, and now you embarrass yourself by bumping into a stranger. Okay, not really a stranger, at least you know his name. Jungkook. If you said that he is not good looking, you would lie. He is tall, probably taller than any guy you know. His body was towering over yours, making you feel small. You need to crane your neck upwards when you spoke to him, and that is saying a lot. He has dark brown hair which is slightly messy, like he ran his hand through it many times. His eyes are something that caught most of your attention, they are so brown. His beard is nicely trimmed, which complements his face jaw especially. Furthermore, he is wearing a suit which complements his figure. He seems ripped. You also catch his accent, it seems like Korean, but you are not sure. Well, I'm gonna. You pointed towards the coffee shop with your hand because you didn't know how to end this awkward silence between you both. Oh, yeah, sure, he said, and you turned around towards the shop. As you was about to open the door, an arm came from behind you and opened the door for you. After you, Jungkook said from behind you, "Well, fuck, you can bet that you are as red as tomato by now. There were a couple of people before you, so you both stood in the line. As you both were waiting, Jungkook decided to start a conversation. So, are you from here? I never saw you in this part of the city." "No, I'm not. I just moved here yesterday. Well, actually, I'm not so sure anymore. Will I stay here?" You answered him, muttered the last sentence while looking at your boots. Well, that explains why I didn't see you around here. But why do you think that you won't stay? You don't like the city? Oh, no, no, that's not a problem. I like the city. It's actually really nice here. Well, if you exclude traffic. You laughed lightly. You always do that when you are nervous. Then what's the problem? He asked, looking generally curious, lifting your resume up slightly. "Job," you answered truthfully and then turned around to give your order. You could see that he wanted to ask more, but you quickly take your coffee and walk to the booth in the corner. Taking a seat, you sipped your coffee slowly and scrolled through your phone. But soon enough, you stopped when you was doing when someone cleared their throat next to you. Looking up to see Jungkook is standing there, he gestured towards the empty seat. "Is it taken care if I join?" he asked, smiling slightly. You shook your head slowly and gestured him to take a seat. "So you are going on a job interview or?" he asked. You shook your head again, laughing nervously. "No, I'm just coming from one," you said while smiling sadly. "Well, by the face you are making and that nervous laugh, I'm gonna take a guess and say that it didn't end up well." "Nope, it did not. They hired someone else yesterday. I was late." You smiled bitterly and looked down at the table, tracing its design on the surface with your fingers. "Well, it's their loss." He gives you a small smile. "So correct me if I'm wrong, but if you don't find a job, you will go home?" You nodded while sipping your coffee. He hummed as he also sipped on his drink. You both were in comfortable silence for some time, gazing outside through the window. During the silence, you could bet that you heard someone take a photo, but when you looked around, everything was normal. Not long after that, Jungkook cleared his throat and you snapped your attention onto him. He was about to say something when his phone rang, causing him to snap his attention on it. "Hello, Sarah." Okay, I'm on my way," he exclaimed, ending a call. He looked at you, and for a second you thought you saw an apologetic look, but it was quickly gone as it came, and he sends you a big smile. "Well, it was nice to meet you, Ryan," he said, standing up from his seat. "Unfortunately, I need to go, but I hope I'm gonna see you around again." "Sure, it was nice meeting you." You smiled shyly, still feeling a little anxious and nervous about speaking with him. "Goodbye, and I hope you have luck with finding a job." "Yeah, thank you. Bye," you exclaimed as he turned around and walked out of the coffee shop, leaving you in your own thoughts. Sipping your coffee in peace, you switched your phone back on and scrolled through contacts. Looking at the clock, it should be around 8 p.m. back in Germany. Swiping your thumb a couple of times over Felix's name, battling with yourself, should you call him or not, and what would you tell him when he answered. Taking a deep breath, you pressed a call and leaned your phone against your ear. Waiting for the call to connect, you try to think how should you tell him about the job interview and what would his reaction be. He will more than probably say that you need to return home. Hey Sissy, we are on the speaker. Guys are here. Felix's voice cut off your thoughts short. Hey, how are you guys? Your voice came out quietly but they heard sigh. We are fine. How are you? You don't sound really energetic or happy. What happened? Did someone say something to you? What happened? I knew that I shouldn't let you go alone. Felix started to talk fast, making your heart flutter as he's worried to you. However, you needed to cut him before he starts to worry more and imagine some horrifying events that never happened. Hey, I'm fine. I'm just tired from this whole flight and that's it. I just want to go sleep. You said, and you could hear all of them sigh in relief, making you chuckle. Okay, then, how was your job interview? Nino asked, making you suck in a harsh breath, which they didn't misheard. By that harsh breath, I'm gonna try, and guess that it didn't go well. He exclaimed, on which you close your eyes. Why do you feel like you disappoint them? No, it didn't. You whispered. They, on the other hand, hummed in response. So I'm gonna go and check available flights for Europe. Do you want to rest or do you want to come home right away? Felix asked, but Hyunjin's voice cut him. Flower, why don't you explore the city a little? I mean, you're already there. Why not take a stroll over the city? You can visit some places you were talking about. His words made a big grin stretch across your face. Do you want to stay longer? Felix's unusually quiet voice came, making your heart break a bit. Yeah, I would love to stay and explore the city. Are you okay with that? If you want to, who am I to stop you? But please stay safe and don't go anywhere where you could get hurt. However, I will give you only 3 days to explore. If you need more time, tell me. The airport is closing after 3 days for some changes, so they are transferring flight to other one. So, in case you will want to go home, call me. I'm just worried that something doesn't happen to you. Your smile was so wide that you probably looked creepy to other people in the shop, but you couldn't remove it. Thank you, Lex. You squeaked out, which brought laughter from other side of the phone. Unfortunately, I hope you understand. We hired yesterday already. I apologize for wasting your time. The manager said with an apologetic smile, making you nod and bid your goodbyes to him before leaving. For the past 3 days, you was exploring the city and weirdly enough, you found job offer suitable for you. So here you coming from yet another interview. Yesterday's one didn't go as planned, but neither did this one. This seems a translator who know only 5 languages, so you didn't fit in that category. Something that you didn't know when you applied is that they paid their translator for every language they spoke. So if they decided to hire you, they would need to pay you double than expected. Looking around, you decided to walk down the street. Walking down the street, your brain went into overdrive, something that you would do more than often these past days. You are gonna need to go back home if you don't find a job till tonight. Felix and the guys will want you to come back. You mean you don't blame them? What would you do here without a job? You have money for now from your last job and what you saved, but that will all went away. You will spend it sooner or later. You were so in your thoughts during the whole walk that you didn't even realize where did your legs lead you to. Looking up, you saw a sign for a coffee shop. A coffee shop that you would visit every day since you came here. That becomes some kind of routine for you already. Every day you would come here to have a coffee, and weirdly enough, you would stumble upon Jungkook. You mean it's not really weird? His company is literally down the street, and beside, he told you that this is the best place to have coffee. Why did you want me to run check up on that girl you sent me a photo of? Jack said as Alex exited Jungkook's office. I mean, don't think that I am questioning you. It's not my business. I'm just curious. True, it's not your business, he said with a smirk but quickly shook his head. Sarah told me about hiring a nanny for Junghoon. So while I was thinking about that, I stumbled with her. She was looking for a job, and one thing leads to another. I wanted to see if she is clean before I propose the deal. You want her to be Junghoon's babysitter? He asked, making him nod with a serious face. Well, she's clean if you wanted to give her a job. I ran a checkup on her and came here yesterday to tell you about it. But you weren't in when I came. Yeah, I went on coffee and then back home to Junghoon. He still has those screaming fits? He asked with a frown pulling on his face. Well, he never stops having them, he said with a chuckle as he stood up. Looking at his watch, he saw that it's time to head to the meeting. Well, I need to go to meeting. If they decided to show up this time, I swear if they don't show up, I'm cutting the deal. Jungkook said, not trying to hide his anger. Every one of us has a lot of job, but if you schedule a meeting then fucking show up on it. Yeah, I'm gonna go back too, Jack said, standing up also, and they both made their way towards the exit of the office. Did you find anything on Alex? He questioned, but he already knew the answer is no. No, they are quiet and keep themselves low. His response made him sigh in annoyance. If anything jumps, call me, he said and turned in other direction towards the meeting rooms. Will do, boss, was the last thing he heard before going. He left. Arriving into the meeting room, he found it empty. Empty once fucking again. Turning to the side upon hearing shuffling, he was met with his secretary who looked kind of scared. Where are they? He asked in a low voice which made her eyes widen a bit. Sir, they called and they can't make it today. Jungkook could hear her voice breaking from anxiety, but her words made his blood boil. Again? He asked, making her nod quickly. Taking a deep breath to calm himself, he looked around the room, trying to keep his anger at bay. He needed to calm himself. Call them and tell them that we won't create a contract with them. This was supposed to be my last meeting for today, so I am off now. If someone needs something, call me, he said and turned around, exiting the room. Coffee. That's what he need now, was his only thought as he exited the company and walked down the road towards the coffee shop. He don't know why, but the past couple of days he have this strange pull towards that place. And every time he came there, he would be met with her bluish grey eyes. Walking into the shop, his first instinct was to swipe his eyes over the place in search of your figure. And there you sat in the far corner as the first time. To be honest, he don't know why he followed you there the first time. It wasn't like there weren't places to sit, it's just you seemed so small and fragile at the time. Taking a coffee, which he ordered, he walked towards you. Is this seat taken? He questioned, even if he know that you are not waiting for anyone. He must startle you because you jump a bit before connecting your eyes. No, it's not. Take a seat if you want. You said timidly with rosy color appearing on your cheeks. We met again, he said with a smirk, making you chuckle a little. Yeah, we do. So, anything new about job hunt? His question must hit the nerve because you shifted a little in your seat and your smile fell a bit. Now, I was on a couple of interviews, but nothing. Your voice was silent, yet it sounded like velvet. So, you are going home? You asked, feeling a disappointment in you. Probably. You said with a small smile and turned your head to look outside. You both were in silence for some time until he did clear his throat, snapping your attention to him. Well, how good are you with kids? Jungkook asked. Well, I'm gonna say I'm pretty good. I mean, I love kids. Why? You tilted his head slightly while watching him with a curious stare. Well, I require a babysitter for my son. So if you want, job is yours. He said and laughed loudly at the look you gave him. You are giving me a job? But you don't even know me. I could be a serial killer. You looked at him as he calmed himself a little and gave you that sexy smirk of his. Wait, what did you just say? Sexy? Trust me when I say if you are a serial killer, I would be first to know. What are you, like a cop or something? Chuckling, he answered, or something. You look at him while having a battle in your head between pros and cons. Well, can you tell me more about the job? You broke the silence. Sure, but for starters, do you have an apartment here or something? You shook your head quickly. Nope, I just arrived here a couple of days ago. Even better. You slightly frown at that, but he catches on that. Don't worry, that's because I need someone who's gonna be with Junghoon 24/7. I am a businessman and I have all those meetings and I'm leaving home quite frankly a lot because of the job. I mean, since he was born, I was with him, but I also have a job to which I need to dedicate my time so Junghoon could have everything. You nodded your head slowly to show him that you are listening. Maybe I get it wrong, so correct me, but I would live with you. You asked, slightly hesitant. He nodded. Yes, that's correct. That would be the easiest way, just in case. So, for example, if I need to go out in the middle of the night, would it be easier to knock on your door and wake you or call you and wait till you arrive? He asked, raising his brow. Okay, you have point, but wouldn't it be easier to? You look down towards his left hand and see no ring. Damn. Wait, with the way you just described everything, correct me, but you are a single father, right? I mean, I don't want to offend you, but with you got cut by his chuckle. Looking at him, you furrow your brows in confusion. Yes, I am a single father. No offense taken, he said with a small smile playing on his lips. Okay, is there anything I should know about your son? I mean, well, he's still little. He's only 2 months old. You look at him with wide eyes when he said that, causing him to chuckle at your expression. Yeah, he is still baby, and he is perfectly healthy even though he would cry for hours if he's not in my arms. Well, you are his dad, and babies can feel some kind of connection, so they would calm themselves in their parents' arms. You said slightly, remembering biology class from high school. Jungkook nodded his head and told you more about Junghoon. He told you further about your salary and some more things. More than that, he told you that you don't need to give him an answer right away, which took you by surprise. He gives you his phone number and told you to give him a call if you wanted a job. Though he also mentioned that he have time till tomorrow to decide, considering that if you don't take a job, he is gonna need to put an ad because he is in serious need of help. You give him your resume just in case if you forget to mention something about yourself. You mean you didn't really speak about yourself, about your profession as a translator. You spoke more about your connection with kids. After that, you both bid each other goodbyes and left separate ways. Even though he offered to take you to the hotel in which you are staying, you politely declined, choosing to stroll around the city a little.